Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is an end-to-end resume screening app. So this system is capable to take a resume by uploading right here, and it will help you to categorize that resume and also recommend the job for that resume and also extract important information like resume parsing. So currently I have already uploaded a resume. So for this resume our system recommend category engineering, that this resume belongs to engineering, and it's actually like this. I'll show a bit later. Also it recommend job that backend developer on the basis of that resume information, and it's also extracted the information like the name is John Doe, the number is none because we don't have name there. यहाँ पे email भी इसने उठाया है, and these are the skills. So let me show you the resume. This is the resume, this is the name. By the way, we have also a number, but I think it's fell. No worries, we will fix that. This is the address, this is the email. Oops, just let me close it. And these are the information. Now let me show you if I reload it. Now here you have to click on this choose file, and I have couple of resume. This teacher one. Now this is the resume about teacher. Click on submit button. So you can see category is teacher, which is good. A recommended job is interaction designer on the basis of that resume information, and these are the extracted information. Name is English literature. There was no phone number, there was no email, and only one skill. So let's check the resume. So as you can see here, we don't have any email, any phone number, that's why it's kept. So yeah, it's working. So basically ये एक end-to-end project है. Let me show you one more. My resume. Actually, if I go to my resume, this is my resume, data scientist. If I click on submit, now before viewing the result, let me show you my resume. This is my resume. You can see these are the contact, these are the information. So now let's see the result. So here our system say that category is designer. Maybe here it's doing mistake because of the data set that we have used. Recommended job data scientist. Extracted information source was email. This is the phone number, which is good. This is the email, and for name I think it's doing some kind of mistake. And these are the skill: Python, machine learning, communication, deep learning, SQL. So if I go to the resume and go to the skills, you can see these are the skills. So basically this is not just a basic project, it's a complete product, because this system is capable to do everything about resume. So you will not only going to learn about resume screening like resume categorization, job recommendation, resume parsing. You are also going to cover about a lot of things in NLP, natural language processing, and machine learning. So इससे पहले मैंने अगर आपको ये प्लेलिस्ट दिखा, I have already created this video about resume screening, but this is only doing categorization. There is nothing about resume parsing, job recommendation. So a lot of students asked for that features to be added like resume parsing and job recommendation, all these things. So now we are going to do all these things in one place. We are also going to cover this part as well in this video. So if you have not subscribed this channel, subscribe it, and also access this NLP playlist, because you'll learn a lot of things from here. Okay, so now let's get started. Before starting, let me show you a couple of more resume. I have another resume. If I go to my, just give me a second or two, NLP resume. Within this I have input resume. By the way, I am going to share all this code, data set, the complete process, all this resume. So I have here a resume by the name of banking. So this resume is about to banking person. Let's click on this button. Now here you can see category is banking, interaction designer, in job it's some kind of not matching about the data set, otherwise it's working its business. Okay, and in this resume, if I remember, we don't have email, phone, that's why there are none, and we have couple of skills, so it's also recommends. Let's try one more. healthcare. By the way, this system is also capable to accept txt file or a pdf file. Okay, so development part, we will be covering the development part as well. Now here you can see categories: healthcare, procurement analyst will be the job. Extracted information, again this was a dummy resume and I didn't add any phone number or email. Okay, and the name is, you can see, registered nurse, and these were couple of communication. Yeah, so it's working. Now first of all, we will be working on resume categorization, so let's do that. Before proceeding, I would like to add that in this channel I mostly provide like FIP projects, machine learning end-to-end projects, like industry level projects, NLP projects, computer vision and deep learning projects. And I mostly use the languages Urdu and Hindi, but in this video I would like to use a combination of English as well as Hindi Urdu, because mostly students ask that please talk in English. But I would also add that I'm not good at English, but I'll try to continue in English this project. So first of all, this is the Jupyter notebook in which we will be implementing categorization code. So here we will be training a random forest model, and before that we will be also doing pre-processing steps. Then we will be integrating this part in our development, and after that we will be using another Jupyter notebook that will be implementation of job recommendation. So if you focus on this notebook code, the other two notebooks will be easy for you. Okay, so first I have already imported NumPy library, pandas library, matplotlib for visualization, seaborn library for visualization, and you can also see from model selection we have important trend test split. It will help us in training and testing. Okay, we will see that a bit later. Now this part is very important. Scikit-learn provide TF-IDF vectorizer. It will help you if you are dealing with text, like today we are dealing with like NLP projects, then you have to convert or make it vectors of that text, and for that this class is used. Okay, now from ensemble we have loaded random forest classifier, and once we train this model we also need to check its accuracy score, confusion matrix, and this part should be removed, and also this part should be removed. So let me run it. Now the data that I am using is for categorization by the name of clean resume data. So just let me reload it. Now let me show you. There is an issue. I think I have changed the path of the data, so let me quickly fix it. So it was an issue with the path. Now we have fixed it. So this is the clean df. If I show the head, in which you will get basically two features. First is category column, second is feature. This feature is nothing but the resume, actually the complete resume. So we have a lot of resume in this data. If I show the shape, you can see we have 2484 resume. Now this is clean, like I have removed from it stop words, because stop words are those words that are not important for us. Okay, so I already removed it. So basically this is the clean df. You'll get that df as well. Now if this is a target column, okay, in which we have the categories. Okay, so if I go to my clean df and call category, this is the categories, and if I call values count on this, you will see these are the categories. So some resume belongs to information technology, some resumes belongs to business development, finance, educate. We have a lot of resume categories. Okay, so basically this is a classification problem. Now let me quickly plot these categories. So this is the code. I had just used matplotlib figure, 15 inches by 15 inches. This is width, this is height in inches. Okay, then using seaborn library I call count plot, and there I pass my category. This part is optional, just let me show you. So basically now you can see horizontally, if we can see our data is imbalance. Now here you can see some categories are very less in counts. Okay, so we have to balance the data as well. Let me show the same plot, but this time using pie plot. So yeah, So here let me paste the code. This is very simple code. Just let me quickly explain. First I extracted all the value counts for each category and store in counts variable. Now I also need the unique label. So if I just copy this and add here a cell and show you, I'm just getting the name. So all HR, now this is the unique name, okay, and I'm storing it in labels. After that I created a fig, then call pyplot. There I pass counts, label will be labels. This is the format of, and I want shadow to be true. This is the color I'm use matplotlib built-in color. So you don't need to remember all these things are optional, but the main thing, the process, the pipeline and model training, okay. Now here you can see this is the plot. You can see these are the percentage. This yellow represent this information technology resume, this part represent designer, 4.8% HR. So yeah, explore these things. Now let's balance the data. Now what does it mean? So if I call clean df and call category and again value counts, you can clearly see that we have 120 resume belongs to this category and we have 118 resume belongs to finance, but some categories are very less in count. So if we train a model on this data, this model will mostly dominate toward this because they are large in number. So we have to give equal importance to all resume, so that once we train our model and we upload new resume in future, so that that model also works for that resume as well. So basically let's balance the data. Now we have a lot of techniques in scikit-learn, but I'll use a resample technique with oversampling and undersampling. The code might be seen very difficult for you, but just let me paste. It's not so difficult, it's very simple. So basically I have just called from scikit-learn.utils. First let me check, a resample class. So this resample will help you to balance your data. Now first of all I extracted the maximum categories. So from clean df category I call value counts, then I call max. So the max was 120 category. So basically now in this variable you will have 120, okay. After that I have just created an empty list by the name of balance data. This will be the data that I will be using finally after balancing the data, the classes. Now I have run a loop by extracting one by one category from clean df. So basically if I just cut this part from here and print the category, we are just printing the name basically, okay, one by one name. Now let me paste. Once we or get the name, then in clean df we are doing filtering, and if the category is equal to this category that we are getting, then store it in category data. Once it's done, we are checking the length of that category. If the length of that category, let's say the first category is HR and it has 120, okay, so max count is also 120. So if the length of category is less than max count, then only you have to do oversampling. So basically if we have classes with less number of counts, then we are doing oversampling. Otherwise if the length is equal to this max count or greater than this, it not be greater but maybe equal, then we are doing undersampling, okay, so that we also do everything correctly. So in resample what we have done, we have passed the category data, okay, this one we have also this is the parameter that comes from resample. Replacement will be true, number of sample will be max count, we have already extracted, and random stat will be 42. The same thing goes with this one as well, okay. Now just let me run the code. Okay, it's an indentation issue because like it should be like this. Now if I finally I have this data, okay, finally once I get balanced data, I am going to concat this data and storing in this balance df. So if I show you balance df and call, basically if you have watched my scikit-learn tutorial playlist, machine learning with scikit-learn or scikit-learn tutorials, you have seen all these things because I have explained all the mathematics behind resampling, undersampling, or sampling. All this stuffs you'll see already there in my channel. You can explore it, okay. Now we have all equal 120 120. So now we have data, classes or categories. So the model that we will be training will give equal importance to each class. Now the next step, train test plates. Now train test plate is very simple. Let me quickly copy paste. But before that, let me quickly add here a cell so that I can also check null value. So what was the data? It was balanced df. This is the final df, and there if I call is null dot sum, you can see we have one resume missing, so we have to remove it, I mean drop it. So balanced df dot drop null value, and I want forever, so in place will be true, something like this. Now let's do trend test plate. Now in trend test plate, as I told you, that feature that contain resume is the input feature, and category that contain category of each resume is the target variable. So from df I get feature store in x, and from df balance df I get category store in y. After that trend test plate I pass x and y. Test size will be 20% because I want from input features, I mean from all resume, 80% data in xtrain and remaining 20% data will be in xtest from feature. And the same thing goes with category. So basically from category I want 80% data that should be stored in ytrain, and remaining 20 will be in ytest. And random stat is 42. You can change this value, this is optional. So now we have also train test plate. Now one thing, if I show you xtrain, you will see all the features, all the resume. This is first resume, second resume, third resume. So these are basically resumes. Okay, now machine will not be able to understand this text, so we have to create a vector for this resume, and we have to also create a vector for this resume. So for that we use a lot of things like word2vec, tf-idf vectorizer. So we have a lot of techniques. Again, we are using tf-idf that I mostly use in any natural language processing project. Okay, so the code is very simple. Just let me quickly copy and paste. Now here you can see we have already imported at the first cell at the top of this Jupyter notebook by the name of tf-idf vectorizer. Now again, behind that we have a lot of techniques, we have a lot of mathematics. We are not going to discuss this, but I have created an object by the name of tf-idf vectorizer. Here you can pass a lot of parameters, but I'm not going to pass any one because I want to use the default ones. Now just I fit transform xtrain. Now whatever text in this xtrain for each resume, or you can say for each feature, it will create numbers. That numbers are nothing but a vector. Okay, and the same thing goes with xtest. And finally I have these two variables. Okay, so if I just here show you xtest tf-idf, now this will be an array. So it will take some time. Now this is an array, you will not see right now because now it's compressed parse array, otherwise it will be an array. Okay, now let's train a model. Now you can train a lot of model from machine learning, like logistic regression, decision tree. You have support vector machine, but I would like to use random forest because it's work quite amazingly in my case. By the way, in your case it will also work. Now just let me cut this part from here. So first what we have done, I think we forgot to import classification report. Now random forest classifier we already imported right here. This is random forest classifier. Let me also import classification report here. This is the classification report. Let me run this cell again and just go down and let me remove this from here. Okay, so basically I just created an object by the name of random forest classifier. Then I just fitted random classifier for my both xtrain, tf-idf, which is basically vectors now, and the ytrain. So basically this is the 80% data on which I am going to train my model. After that I have predicted for all the test data and store in ypred. After that I have called accuracy score. Now because I want to compare model prediction and the data that hasn't seen by model right now, because model just predicted for test data and all the prediction are stored in ypred, and this is the data that the model has not seen right now. So basically now we are going to compare so that we can check the score of our model. So let me quickly run this. So random forest gives 84 accuracy for this problem. You can also train support vector machine if you want, but I think it's okay to go with this much accuracy. So basically now you can see this is the code of training phase. These are something like common in each project. Now I want to check its classification report. This is the classification report. So in classification report I just pass classification report, white test and ypred. This ypred is nothing but predicted by model. Okay, so now let's run the cell. Now this is the classification report. Now classification report provide precision, recall, f1 score and support. So for each class it gives these things. Now for accountant class, precision is 83, recall is 95, which are very good, and for f1 score is 89, and this is the support. Now you can see for each class, if I show you right here, for teacher this 79 is the precision, this is the recall which is 100%, quite amazing. 88 perfect, 33 this 33 is the precision. Okay, and if you want to check the average, this is the average mean the accuracy of the model for test data. So yeah, it's perfect. Let me plot confusion matrix so that we can check how many misclassified or right classified our model. This is the code what I have done in confusion matrix. Again I pass white test, ypred. This is the plot code, but for now if I just print confusion matrix like this, you will see this 2D array. So this is the array. Now we have a lot of classes, so that's why it's bigger. So if we plot it, this is the plot code. Basically this is very simple code. I had just created a figure, then heat map from SNS, pass confusion matrix, its parameter, and this is the X label. For on X label I want to print predicted, and on Y label I want true classes, and this will be the title. So just run it. Now you can see clearly this is the actual class. Okay, actual, this is the predicted class. So actual class and predicted class, here 0, it's mean that the model is working quite amazingly. And this is the teacher actual class, and here you can see teacher predicted class 33 prediction. It's mean that model working quite good. So diagonally if you can see values a lot, it's mean your model is performing very well. At the top of your diagonal, if you can see a lot of zeros, and at bottom of your diagonal line you can see a lot of zero, it's mean that your model is working quite amazingly. But you can see here somewhere 1 so it's mean if your class is agriculture, and here if I go, just let me a little, and here it's engineering, so it's mean actual class is what was the actual class, agriculture, and here the model did 2 mistakes. Otherwise you can see if you have a lot of zero, it's mean you are. So basically I just explain you about the confusion matrix. So yeah, now we have this model. Let's create a predictive system before going into the development part. Okay, so the code is very simple. I have a resume text. Basically this text has been taken from the data. For now I just want to make things simple. This is the resume text, and this text coming from our data. I think this text belongs to HR resume. I have created a function by the name of predict. You will not see right here, but we will do that. And this function takes a resume text. So basically I am passing a resume, and this function will return a category, directly a category, predicted category. So this is the function. Okay, now the function name is predict category. It takes a resume, basically this text. When we are calling this function here, first we need to clean this text. But before cleaning, let me explain this code. So now this text we have to also converted this text into vector. So I have already tfid vectorizer. Okay, I just call transform and pass this resume text, basically this one, I mean this one. So now this text will be converted into vectors and it will store the vector into resume tfidf. Now I have passed this to my model, trained model, random forest classifier, and call predict and pass this one, and here I pass 0 because I don't want the list. So finally it will give the category, the predicted category for this text. Now this text is clean, but what if we pass our resume text, there we will have a lot of stop words like is, am, are. For that I want to clean it. Because the data was already clean, I didn't use the cleaning process, but here in this function I need to use it because this is the first example. When I show the second example, you will see why I am cleaning. So we also need to add here this function. So let me quickly add this function. This function might be difficult for you, but it's basically simple. So let me copy and paste. First I have important regular expression, okay, that works with text. First I want to remove any link from my resume. You might be thinking why we are going to remove link, because links are important in resume parsing. So basically we are not doing resume parsing here. This is categorization. I'll show all these things a bit later once we will be working with the second part and third part. But for now we are going to remove http for this input resume. Okay, also I am removing rt. These are some keywords in a resume which are not important, and also removing special words, and also removing emails. Now these are some patterns. You don't need to remember about these patterns. There are a lot of patterns and Google you will find it. Okay, because we are using regular expression, there is a function sub, and pass on the basis of this pattern we are removing from this text, and the text is right here. We are passing basically the resume right here. So once we call this function will pass resume text. Now we have to remove stoppers, emails, phone numbers, all those things. So there must be a function for us by the name of clean resume. So we have passed the resume text to this clean resume, and here we are removing https, links, RTs, special characters, emails. These are basically the special characters, and these are some digits like numbers and spaces. Okay, so we are removing all those things, and finally it will return the clean text. Now there is a question. You might be thinking that we are dealing with resume and emails, phone numbers are important. Those emails and phone numbers are only important in case of resume parsing, not in categorization. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. So let me run this function. Now I have called this predicted category and I have passed my resume. So it says that the predicted category is HR. Let's try one more. I have another resume. Just let me add here resume file. The resume is information technology manager, network engineer, professional overview, highly skilled. This is the objective of the resume. Implementing streamlining system, ensure maximum customer satisfaction, business. I don't know, I think this resume is belongs to I don't know. Let's see what the model says. So just run it. It says that information technology. I think yeah, it's working. Let me try once more. Now in this resume again you can see we don't have any stop words mostly, so it was also clean. Let me try once more. So now this time I'm using one more resume. This is the resume. Objective is this: a creative and detail oriented designer with a passion for visual communication and brand identity seeking. Now in this resume we have stop words. We have a lot of stop words. So this time we need this function, or basically not this one, this function. Okay, so education is Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design. Oops, skills are these. You can see proficient in Adobe Creative. I think this resume belongs to a designer, but let's see what our model say. As you can see here, graphic designer, certification, languages, a lot of things. So let's run what the model say, designer. So our model is working quite amazingly. Now let's do a last thing. We need to save these two things, the train model, which was random forest classifier. For that we use pick a library, because in development part we are not going to repeat this entire code again and again. We only need these two models for input resume. Okay, this model random classifier and TF-ID vectorizer, because before prediction we need to convert that into vectorizer. So I just call pickle, and there is a function by the name of dump, where you have to pass first the model, then you have to pass its parameter open, in which give the path. This is the path. Basically I have models folder in which I am going to store this random classifier by the name of rf classifier categorization dot pkl. Pkl is the extension, and this is the encoding. I want, when you save a model using pickle, you have to pass write binary mode, and the same thing goes for TF-ID vectorizer. I'm not going to run this because I've already saved. Now before implementing code for job recommendation for resume and the third notebook, that will be resume parsing, we need to work on development part. So yeah, so I have opened PyCharm IDE, and for web development I will use Flask framework. So basically I have created a folder. This is the folder, resume and job matching with screening, something like that. You can give any name. Now you can see here a lot of folders. These folders are optional. In your case you will not get all these folders. In your case, the main important part, right click on your folder and go to new and create here directory by the name of templates. I repeat, the name must be similar, templates, TEMPLATES. Otherwise student gets a lot of issue related templates, that index not found or that HTML file not found. So it's just because you do spelling mistake. But you can see I have already this directory, so I don't want to create it. This is the directory templates. And you have to create one more thing, Python file by the name of app.py, in which we'll be doing backend code, app.py. Okay, so in your case I don't need this thing, that thing was optional basically. So in your case you will only get app.py and templates. These notebooks I just used for storing the notebooks, and also you must have by the folder by the name of models. So basically in this folder you must have models. In models you have to store all the models that we are going to use. Currently we are using TF-ID vectorizer categorization PKL file and TF-IDF vectorizer random forest classifier categorizer.pkl. These other files I have already created for the other notebooks. We will see that a bit later, but currently at this point, at this moment, you will have only random forest classifier categorization.pkl and TF-IDF vectorizer categorization.pkl. Okay, in models I'll share these models all with you. I'm going basically a structure code video. Okay, don't worry, but for now just focus on the project. And in app, first what you have to do, let me zoom in a bit. Now in templates, right click. Basically you have in templates, currently we have nothing. On template, right click, go to new and click on HTML file, and there create resume and enter. Now we have resume.html in which we will be doing front-end code. Okay, and I don't want to use this syntax. I'll use bootstrap syntax a bit later. Okay, now in app, first of all go to your terminal. Okay, before that you must have to create virtual environment. Okay, this is, once creating this folder you have to create this virtual environment. As you can see, virtual environment. If you have this thing, then go and install Flask. So pip install Flask framework, enter, it will be installed. I already installed. Now in backend, first we have to, from Flask we have to import, from Flask import capital F Flask, request and render template. You have to import all these things for now, just okay, and create app so capital F flask, and there you have to pass name, and now you have to call this app in Python main. So if name equal to underscore main, and there you have to call app dot run, and debugger must be true. Now you might be thinking, we don't know about this syntax, we don't know about flask. So basically these things are built in, you cannot change. Okay, these things are built in. Now I have to create a root, app.root, and there I want to pass a path, a URL, and there you have to create a function by any name. Let's say I want to give a name resume. Now I have to redirect from Flask backend. Basically this thing is not important. Redirect to my this file. So if you want to work with HTML file using Python Flask, then you have to use this syntax for redirecting there. Okay, and there I want to return with the help of render template to resume.html. okay, now in resume I have nothing. Just let me write something here like this things. Okay, now if I go to app.py and right click and run it, you will get this URL. Click on this URL and your page will be open right here. Okay, now let's make our resume.html page attractive, professional, and something like real world application. So currently resume.html has nothing. Let me paste. So this is the basic syntax that I am going to use in resume.html. So in body, first of all I would like to use a class with a D with container class, because I also want to use CSS for this. So this is container. Now in this container, first I want h1 tag. There I want to use resume screening AI base system. Okay, and in this container I can use style tag so that I can use CSS. So I want margin top. You will see these things a bit later, and again you don't need to remember all these stuffs because we are data scientists and we are not interested in front-end code. So background I want for now black, and color I want white. So let's see if I go here, not here. I think I closed. Let me rerun it. Just let me quickly click on this link. This is the background. Okay, black, and the color is not white. I don't know why. Okay, there was an issue. There was a dot. So let me reload. Now we have these things. So now I will use a paragraph after this. It should be system, basically system. So paragraph, in this paragraph for now I don't want to write anything. For now I just want to write this thing so that you can see. And after this paragraph I want to add unordered list, and within this unordered list I want to add a list where I can say resume categorization, control D, so that I could replicate this thing, and resume job recommendation, replicate by pressing control D so that we can replicate it, and finally resume parsing like information extraction. Okay, yeah, so just go to your page and reload it and see. Now we have these things. So we have to work on this container to make it center, change the color, and do some kind of design. So let me do it quickly. So basically now I don't want this div, I want this div. Okay, basically it's the same div. the same container, the same style, but I changed the color from black to this one. You will see a bit later. And after that we have this heading, and after that we have this paragraph, that this system support txt and pdf file and these things. So if I go and reload it, now we have this container. Now what I can do, remember this thing, container, this is the class. So after, within this heading, after title, I would love to add style tag. So basically I want css here. So first I have to work on body. I have to call body of my html, and there I want font family. Font family I want Arial, and format should be like sans serif. Oh, it's not suggesting me sans serif. Okay, no problem. And background color, by the way, body background color should be this color. I don't remember this color, but again, you don't need to remember about this colors. These are built in like this. F4, yeah. Now, and the color should be this ASCII value. Basically for color I'm using ASCII value. If you have learned about HTML, CSS, you might have seen these things. So this is the color. Now I have also to work on this container. Okay, so for this container I'll use here a dot container because I'm getting to access this class. So if you want HTML class to get in CSS, you have to use dot. Okay, now in this container, first thing I have to do max width. I want 600 pixel. If you don't know what it's mean, let me just reload. Now this is the max width. You cannot change this width. This will be the maximum width. And margin want auto, and padding want 20 pixel. These things are simple. I think you might have seen these things if you have worked with CSS or HTML. Background color, I have already set it, I think, but let me set it again. This color. And border radius. So if for now just see. Now we have this thing. Okay, finally this is the container. Let's make this corner or radius. For that we use border radius attribute in CSS, or property you can say, something like this. I think it should be radius, yeah. So add pixel. And finally box shadow. Box shadow is very important to make our container attractive. So there you will have a lot of properties, something like this, and I want RGB value. Basically I'm not good at in CSS as well, but I'm using some basic CSS. So this is the box shadow with this properties. These are the values for this box shadow property. Okay, and this will be the intensity of your box shadow. So let's see. For now you have these things, but if I reload, if I increase the intensity to 5, you will see right here some kind of shadow. Yeah, now you can see a little bit. Let's increase it further to 10. I don't know, will it be good or not? Yeah, now it's perfect. Let's 7. Yeah, now it's okay. Now the next thing, what we can do with the next thing, next we have to use upload option. Okay, now just let me check. Yeah, so after this container, basically if I show the output, I want here to add a button submit, and before submit I want choose file. So for that I need this container again. So let me quickly copy this container right here, and after this container let me paste it, and let's remove all this stuff from here. because I want the same color, the same width, the same things. Now in this container h2 tag, and there I want to use a heading by the name of upload your resume, shift and enter, so that we could go to the new line. Now there we need a form, and action will be, for now you will not understand these things, but a bit later I'll explain why I'm using here action, and method will be post, and encrypt type will be multi-part form data. You will not understand for now, just patience. In this form I want input type will be file, because we are going to upload a file, either PDF or TXT. Name will be resume, it could be AAA, it could be BBB, you can give it any name, because with the help of this name I'll get the resume at the backend, okay, sorry, in the backend. Accept could be the file could be .pdf, .txt, so these two category will be accepted, okay, and these are required there. If you want to make it important, then there you have to pass required, okay. Now the last thing, we need a submit button. So input, this time I need a button, so I have to use type submit, and value will be submit as well, sorry, submit. For now just let me show you quickly. If I reload the page, you can see clearly, but these are not structure, so let's make it structure. This is the choose file. You can choose file for now, and the button is not good, there is a space, we have to do all these things. Again I have to use CSS, but action pred is important. When we will be working here, you will understand these things right here. Method will be post, because if you want to get data from front-end to backend, or pass data from backend to front-end, then you have to use either get or post. Encrypt type multi-part form data, because we are dealing with files, not with input text. We are dealing with files like uploading image or PDF file or TXT. In that case you have to pass these things, okay. This is the input, this is the button. Let me use CSS. So I have already typed the CSS for this container, this heading, this form. Just let me paste it right here, okay. Control V. Now just let me quickly explain. It's basically simple. H2 text align will be center, margin bottom will be 20 pixel. On for form I have used this CSS. Display will be flex, flex direction will be column, align items will be center. These are some properties and values. And the button will be file button will looks like this, and the input button like padding, background color, border. I don't want border for my submit button. Border radius will be 4 pixel. Cursor, when I hover cursor, it will be pointer. Transition will be background, this, okay. Now if I just go to my page and reload it, we have this thing. As you can see, the moment I hover my cursor on this button, it will becomes a thumb. So this is a pointer basically, okay. I think we have to remove this space. How to remove it? From the second container I have to remove this style basically. Now if I reload, I think Control Z, I have to just remove this margin top, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, now it's perfect, now it's good. So if I click on this, and if I go to resume, these are the input resume, healthcare, click on button, nothing will happen, because we have to get this resume in app.py. So remember this name. With the help of this name, we will be getting right here. So here I have to create another root, app.root, but this time I have to give URL or path pred, and also I have to give methods. It could be post, it could be it could be get, okay. And the function should be pred, and within this function we will implement our logic, okay. So pred is basically the action that we have given right here. Method is the post. So first we need to check here we need to check if request dot method equal to post, then only go forward, because if I go here I have already imported request. Okay, now one library we have to import here, one library, but I think we have to do that part a bit later because we have to convert PDF file into a text. Okay. Okay, one thing more which is important. First we need to load the save files. So these are the save files from models. Basically what I have done, I have used pickle. First I have to import pickle, and after that pickle.load open, give the path. So in models I have random forest classifier categorization.pkl, but this time code encoding must be read binary mode, not write binary mode, and the same thing goes for tfid vectorization. Okay, and I have stored in this two variable. Now I can use for prediction these two variables. Okay, let me give some space, and here let me add comment roots path, something like this. Let me zoom out a bit so that we can see all things. Now first what we have to do, first we need to get from here the resume or txt file or pdf file. So here in pred root I can say that first you need to check basically if you don't want to give these things, it will also work, because we didn't give their get, we have just give post. Okay, so let's remove this get, we don't need it for now, so that we can make things simple. So first I need to check if the resume, you might be thinking where this resume, in request.files, then get that file. So request.files to resume. Basically I have already told that this name is important, so with the help of this name, first we are checking that if this file name is located into the request.files, once you run this app it will automatically request, once you click on submit button it will call this pred function. So there we are checking the request. If it is so, then get that and store in file. Okay, whatever the user uploaded. Now we have to use the file name. So file name will be equal to file dot, there you will get a function file name. Now we have to check that if it is either it is a pdf file or txt file, because we have given two options, either user can upload pdf file or txt file, right? So if the file name end with .pdf, it means it's a pdf, then we have to do something. If the file name end with .txt file, then read that file. So reading txt file is very easy in Python. What you have to do, create a variable and then call the file, basically this file, and read it, but we have to decode it, and txt file mostly in the format of utf-8. Okay, so basically what we are going, first we are checking that if the resume file exists in our request files. If it is so, then get that file with the help of this code and also get its name. Why we are getting this file name? Because we have two options, pdf or txt. Now we are checking if the file ends with pdf extension, it means it's pdf file. But it is not so, then it means that it's a txt file. But if it is not a pdf file or txt file, it means we have nothing. So in that case we have to give a proper message to our user. So return with the help of render template to resume.html, and there give this message, invalid file format, please upload a PDF or TXT file. Okay, invalid, it should be invalid, and it should be please. Okay, now let's assume that for now the user uploaded a PDF file. Now how to work with PDF in Python? Because first what we have to do, we have to get the text from the PDF. For that we use a library by the name of, just let me import that library, PyPDF2. So from PyPDF2 import PDF reader. Okay, now again copy this name and go to your terminal, and there you have to install with the help of pip install PyPDF2. This will help you to convert any PDF text file into basically a text. So basically it will help to get the text from the PDF file. Okay, now for that either you can implement the logic right here, because once this condition becomes true, it means it's a PDF file, so you can implement the logic right here, or you can create a function by the name of PDF to text and pass your file to that, and it will return you basically text. So let's implement this function. So the function is very simple. Just let me paste after the model, let me add here helpers functions, and here let me paste this function. So PDF to text, this function get the PDF file. First we are using PDF reader where we are passing the file, and there we have an empty variable by the name of text. Now on this reader we have to run a loop, because we don't know in PDF file it could be 2 pages, 3 pages, we don't know. So for page in range of length of reader, basically this reader, and there you will get a function by the name of pages, get that one by one page. And now let's read reader.pages, pass the page and extract the text. So these are some built-in function provided by this library. So with the help of this code, for any PDF file you have to use this code, and it will help you to extract the code. And finally, once this function get a PDF file, it will return a TXT file. Okay, and not TXT, basically the text, and we are getting that text right here, right? But if this condition becomes false, then we don't need to do this thing. It's mean that we have a TXT, and for TXT we have only this lines of code. But if both condition becomes false, it's mean that you have to pass this message. Now this text, we have to pass this text to our predictive function that we have implemented in Jupyter Notebook. So basically I will use the same function that I have used in Jupyter Notebook. So here after this function I'll pass two function, clean resume, basically the same function, but first I have to import regular expression. So this is the same function, it will help you in cleaning the text. Okay, now this is the predicted category. It will get a resume text, and within this function we have call clean resume, and it will clean the text and it will turn. So basically it's the same thing. So finally this function will return the category. So we have to call only this function in our right here, okay, in our root basically. So what I can do, call the function and pass the text, okay, and it will return what? It will return simply predicted category. Now if this condition becomes true, meaning the user uploaded a PDF, so it will convert the text PDF text into text, and we will get the text, and this too will be skipped, and it will pass the text to our predicted category file, and it will return a predicted category. But if this function, if this logic, if this statement becomes fail, then this condition will be true. So in that case we are reading the txt file, and again we are passing this there. So finally we will get this predicted category. So let's also pass this to our front end. So return render template to resume.html and pass predicted category will be equal to predicted category. Now I have to print message and predicted category in resume. So after form, right after form, this part important because there we are using Jinja template. So first I have to check if the message, so in Jinja template you can use this type of syntax: if message, then print the message. And I'm using a bootstrap class. I think I didn't use bootstrap, but let's see what happened. And there I can display only this message. So basically if this condition trues, so here we are calling render template going to HTML and passing this message. So we have to print this message to user so that it could see that this is an invalid file, and there you have to end this if. But what if our model predicted category? So we have to print that as well. So again here we have to check if not this one, this variable, if predicted category. Also we need to end this if as well. Basically I am using here Python code within HTML file. So if you want to use Python code in HTML file, for that you have to use Jinja template. Now here I will add br tag. After that I will use horizontal line, and after that I'll use br tag, and there I can print the predicted category. So paragraph and class, I don't need class, any class. Basically I can only print this thing, Control C. But before that I will use like a heading category, and after that I can print that category. So if I go to resume, I have already uploaded, let me upload again, designer, click, I think I have to rerun it again because I have made a lot of changes. Let's click on URL. So choose file, healthcare, submit. We are getting category healthcare. Let me try another resume, banking category. So it's mean that our model is working and our designing is perfect, but we can also make it a more appropriate. If I can add here, I want this thing to be bold, so I can use bold tag, and also I can use strong tag. Now pass it. Now if I go and reload it, you will see this thing more attractive. Now we have more attractive. So yeah, that was categorization. Now let's work for job recommendation. So this is the second Jupyter notebook, resume job recommendation system. So basically the process is same, we are just changing the data set. So I have already imported the data set. You will get the data set by this name, jobs data set with features. Now this is quite big data, you can see it's quite big. We will not use all this data, but in this data, basically the data that I had used earlier was different. In that data we have a lot of features like jobs, skills, and other features related to job for resume. So what I have done, I have extract important information for all those from all those features. So basically there, I think if I remember, we have 10 to 12 features like location of the person, skills, and other features. So what I have done, I have extracted important information from that all those features and stored them into one column by the name of features, and this is the rule. So now I'll consider the rule will be my job. So basically this is not a good choice for job recommendation. We can say that 70% it could be a good data set for job recommendation, especially for resume only in this case, because I searched a lot of data set online but I couldn't found any related data set related to resume job recommendation. But yeah, this data could be 70% okay. Now from that data, what I have done, if I show you the rule column, basically the target column, this is the def data and this is the rule column, in which we have a lot of rules for any person. And if I call here value counts, in this data we have okay, I balance the data basically. So let me rerun again all these cells. Just give me a second. Once it complete, then I'll show what I wanted to show you. Now here you can see some classes are larger than other classes. Again we have to balance the data, but let's check the count of all classes, how many classes we have. So basically we have a lot of classes, 376. So what we can do, instead of balancing the data, we have to drop some columns. Less occurred classes, we have to drop them. Like as we can see, we have already a lot of classes. So what if we drop some classes on the basis of any threshold value? So I wanted to drop classes that are occur either or less than 605 times, because I already we have a lot of classes. So we are dropping those classes that are occur 6500 times or less than that. So this is the code for that. If I run it now, we will have it's taking time, so let's see. Now we have all these classes. So we have dropped those classes that are that were occurring less than or equal to 6500, which was the threshold value for us. Okay, so sometime you have to do such kind of code for balancing the data. Okay, now if we check how many classes we have, so this time we have 61. Now as I already shown that we have a lot of data set. This is quite big data, you can see. So for now I just want to use only 10,000 rows, or you can say 10,000 resumes, you can also call in that way. So finally we have filter df. So on filter df I have called sample and the number is this. So now we will have only 10,000 resumes with corresponding rules. Now again trend test plate, okay, and tfid vectorization. After that training a random forest classifier the same way. Let's see what it gives. So the model gives, if I show you, 100% accuracy. Now some students say in my medicine and medical recommendation system our model was giving 100% accuracy, and they were saying that this model is overfitted. No, overfitted model means when it works better for training data, not for testing data. But here this accuracy is for testing data, not for training data. So it's mean that the model is working quite amazingly. Now again we have recommendation, basically the prediction system. This is the same exactly code for cleaning the resume, and this is the same code, just I changed the function name to job recommendation from prediction, otherwise it's the same. So once you run this code, now I am passing this resume, okay, and let's see what our model predicted. User interface designer, the recommended job for this resume is user interface designer. Let's see. So yeah, now this is another resume: dedicated and result oriented banking professional with a strong background in financial analysis. So it's related to banking and financial things, if I'm not wrong. Let's see what model say. So the model is also say recommended job for this resume is financial analyst. So yeah, it's also working. Now again I have the same random classifier and TF-ID vectorizer, but this time with different names: RF classifier job recommendation PKL and TF-IDF vectorizer job recommendation. Okay, so now let's go into PyCharm and also implement code for this part. So in PyCharm app.py we have done this much code. So what I have done here, I have only loaded this to save files: job recommendation for random classifier and vectorizer job recommendation. Okay, otherwise this is the same clean resume function, and after that we have predict category, and this is PDF to text. Before that function I will pass this function. Now this function will work for job recommendation. Okay, I've just copied the same function. Now I have to go here in my pred root. I have to just call this job recommendation. Okay, so job recommendation, and I have to pass my text, nothing else. Okay, and here it will return me recommended job, and I will also pass this recommended job to like this, and I'll also print this right here in resume.html. So what I can do, I think I have already printed it. So I just replicate this this line, and here I passed recommended job. This is the recommended job we are getting from here. So let me quickly run this and we'll see. So this is the URL. This is the URL, just let me click on this URL, and there is an error. Was looking for the following text elif. I think I forgot something here. We have to also close this here. I think when I was copying pasting I forgot that and if, because this if is started here and ended here, and this if is started here, so we have to end it right here. Now I think it should work if I just reload. Now you can see. So if I go to my resume, let's say advocate this time, and submit. Now you can see category is advocate, family law attorney. Wow, it's working quite amazingly. So we have done successfully both parts. Let me try one now, this time teacher. So interaction designer is the recommended job and category is teacher. Let's try one more. Banking is the category and interaction designer. Now you can see in some cases for job recommendation is not working quite greatly, because in job recommendation we don't have a specific data. Okay, but anyways, it mostly 70 or 80% it will work. Now the last part and the most important part, that is resume parsing. So this is the Jupyter notebook for our parsing process, basically by the name of extracted info and hiring process. In this, what we will do, we will extract the information, or you can say resume parsing code. Code could be complicated or could be difficult for you, but it's not difficult, because some lines of code you don't need to remember, but you must have an idea how to use it. Okay, so first what we have to do, I have a resume here, this info resume.pdf. If I open it, okay, it will not work right here, but okay, this resume I'll use for this code. Okay, now here what I have done, I have import regular expression, because we will mostly use regular expression library for this process. And this time again we have to first extract the text from PDF file. Okay, now this time you can also use this library. This library can do the same thing like extracting text for PDF, but only in one line of code. So what you have to do, from PDF minor data high level, you have to import extract text function. Now here I have my own custom function by the name of extract text from PDF, and I am passing the path. The path is resume path. Here I have this resume info resume.pdf, and I am passing to this function the path. So what it will do, it will extract directly without further lines of code directly the text. So if I run this code, I'm getting the text. So I have the resume by where we have the name John Doe, address is this, all those stuffs. Okay, now the first thing we have to extract contact information. Like I want to extract the number. So again I have created a custom function. Basically this one line of code is working, but this function we use functionality so that we can automate the task, automate the work. So first it's get the text, the extracted text for resume. So once we call the function here extract contact number from resume, we are passing the text. Basically we are passing this text, this entire text of the resume. Now here one thing important, we don't need to remove stop words. Basically in this part we are not going to use clean resume function, otherwise it will clean everything like the phone numbers, the address, all those things. So in this case what we have to do, we are not going to clean the text, but in both two projects like categorization and job recommendation, all those stuffs were important. Okay, so yeah, so first what we are creating a variable with none. Now this is the pattern. So anywhere if you are going to extract a number from text, either from txt file or PDF file or from a large corpus of text, if you are getting to extract phone number, okay, with code, this pattern is used. You can search for it. Okay, now what we have done, we have used search. Now we are passing our entire text and our pattern, that on the basis of this pattern search what I want nothing but match is nothing, my phone number. So if I'm checking if the match, then give it to my contact number by using group, and it will return me the contact number. So let me open the resume so that we can explore things side by side. So input resume, info resume. So if I open it up, let me minimize this. You can see name is John Doe and address is this, phone number is this, email is this is the objective, and the other parts of resume like summary of qualification, education, technical skills. Now here if you are thinking that structure is matter, no, if the name is right here it will extract because we are using pattern. Okay, perfect. Now you can see we have extracted the phone number. So this entire function will be used for taking or getting the phone number. After that what we are going to do, we are going basically to extract email address. Now for email address we are using just the same function by changing the name. Again here a variable that is none. We are using this pattern. Again I will recommend you that you don't need to remember such kind of patterns, believe me or not, but I'm not able to remember all these patterns, but you must have an idea that this kind of pattern is used for extracting email from text. Okay, now again searching by passing both things, text and pattern. Again if it is found, then give it to email. So if I run it, you are getting the email. So if I show the resume right here, this is the email, johndoe@email.com. you can see it right here. Now let's extract the skill. Now for skill we need some custom things, like first again we have the function. Now this function will take text and skills list. We have to create, if we want to automate our system, then we need a list of a lot of skills. But because on resume, let's say there is a resume related to a doctor, so skill will be related to doctor, and there is another resume related to engineer, so skill will be related to engineer. So we have to take some skills from each domain, from each field. I have already done with the help of my friend ChatGPT. He created me this a list of a lot of skills. You don't need to remember about all those things, but yes, this function is getting text, basically the resume and skills list. Here I am creating another empty list by the name of skills. First I have to take one by one each skill from this, so I needed a loop for skill and skills list. This will take First Python, then we'll take data analyst, machine learning, communication, project management, deep learning, one by one. Okay, and using this pattern I'm escaping basically the skill and passing into pattern. Okay, and then searching, passing pattern and text. And also in this search you have to pass regular expression dot ignore case, because maybe in text there is communication with lowercase, and here in our skill list we have communication with uppercase, so we are going to manage these things as well. Okay, so finally this function will return a list of skills. These things you can already familiar with in the above two functions. Okay, so if I show you right here, I am calling the function extract skill from resume, passing my resume text and skills list. You can also define this list within the function that we will be doing in PyCharm, and extracting the skills, and we are checking if the skill, then print them, otherwise told them then there is no skill found. Okay, so we are getting the skill Python, communication, Java, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Now if I go to my resume and see where is the skills, technical skill, programming language Python, Java, C++, web development, Django, Flask, React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, database management, MySQL. So if I show the output, you can see we are exactly extracting that skills. There are a lot of process. Instead of passing this list, you can implement other logic, but I think this logic was correct and perfect for me in my case. You can change it. Now extracting education with the same process. Okay, again we have a list of education with education related keywords. Okay, but this time instead of passing the list from outside, I defined within the function. And here again I am doing I'm running a loop and taking one by one education keyword from the education keyword, and on the basis of this pattern we are finding and we are checking if we found that, and we are appending into education variable. This is another education list, empty list I've defined right here. Okay, so basically this function will give you a list of education. And here again we are checking if it is found, print that, otherwise ignore that or give that message. Okay, this message, sorry. So computer science, management, education, software development, web development. If I go to resume, education, you can see Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. I think in education it's making some computer science. Yeah, it's working. Management, it's working. Where this education, software development, web development. If I look for this part, I think it's also getting some education from here. So yeah, it's working because the output, the list output is related to the education. Okay, yeah, this thing should not be here, but yeah, it's working because if he's a developer, then software development is also there, web development is also there, computer science is also there. So yeah, education is also working. Now let's extract the name. For that you can first I use specie library by using some kind of code of its. Then I realize why we not use the same pattern like for others. So this is the pattern. It will extract on the heading of the name the exact name from there. So here if I show you, so this is name is John Doe. So this pattern, basically this pattern will help you to extract the name. So if I run it, otherwise the code is same, exactly the same. You can see we are getting John Doe. So yeah, we can also extract other important things, but I think for now it's enough that by what we have done, we have extracted the name of the user, its education. Also we have extracted the skills from the resume, email address and phone number. So now what we can do, I'll use all these functions right here in PyCharm. Now here you can see we have this PyCharm code. Just let me go from here. This is the clean resume, you can clearly see. Then predict category, job recommendation function, PDF to this. Now here I have added the first function extract contact number from resume. This is exactly the same function and it's returning me the contact number, and this is the exact email from resume, exact same function. I just copy from there and it's returning me the email. Then we have skills from resume, but what I have done, I have just done only one change, that the skill list, I define the skill list within the function, okay, nothing else. Now after that it will return me a list of skills. After that we have education from resume, the same process, it will return us education. Then we have finally this name function and it will return the name. After that I went to my pred function, where first you already familiar with, we predicted category for our uploaded resume. Then we have done job. Now first I have called here extract contact name from resume, pause the text and it will give me the number. Then it will give me email, the other function of email one. After that I have called extract skill from resume, pause the text and it will return me a list of extracted skill, and the same thing goes with education and finally with name. So basically the same thing, just by calling function, pausing text, and it will return me the output. After that you can clearly see we have already passed predicted category, recommended job. Then the same thing goes with phone, name, email, extracted skills and extracted education, just these things. Now we have to print these things in resume.html as well. So we have done this much code. First we have printed the message, then we have printed a category and job. After that in the same line of codes I have given a heading by the name of extracted information. Now extracted information, if I just cut this part from here until this one, just let me cut, and you can see we already implemented this logic. So basically I have to run it again because I have made a lot of changes. Click on URL, let me close the other stuff and let me close this. So upload resume, not upload, basically upload resume, banking for now. Now here you can see we have this extracted information heading, and after that I've done nothing just by printing the things. So Control Z, okay. So first let me show you how we have printed. So from app.py we are getting name, so I just printed name, other things are same, then printed phone, then email, okay. But in case of if I go to app.py, in case of extracted skill, we don't have only one skill. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 11, we don't know. It depends on our logic and resume. So we need a loop. So what I have done, first I have checked that if the extracted skill, then run this loop for skill in extracted skill and print that skill, nothing else. I am printing basically in unordered list, and the same thing goes with education, okay. In education, first I've checked if the extracted education, then for education in extracted education and print that education, nothing else, okay. This is basically Jinja template. I hope you get the idea. So just let me reload. Now for the uploaded resume, I have uploaded banking resume, so there I don't have a phone number, email, but you can see we are getting the skills. So basically I'm using this, I've created this resume. These are all dummy resume. You can use your resume, other real world resume with different structure. It will work. So info resume, submit, and engineering, backend developer, John Doe is the name. Okay, here it's missing the phone number. I don't know why. Maybe, but yeah, it's working. So this is the email, and these are the skills, and it's also missing the education. So basically it's working. Just let me try one more. Designer, in designer I don't have email, phone number, all those stuffs. I don't remember, it might be or not, I don't know, but let's see. So category is designer, recommended job is user interface designer, and name is fine arts. It might be there. I have given the name to fine arts, I don't remember. We are not getting the phone number, not getting the email, but yes, for skill it's working. So yeah, this is the project. I hope I have explained everything in detail. In the last two parts I made hurry because the code was similar. The code is simple, just explore it, use it. I have already shared with you. This is the blog post. You can also read this blog post. You will get all the source code right here from GitHub. I'll also share this GitHub link separately. This is the same models that we have used within this entire project. You will download from here. And also this is the data set that we have used. Both data set you will find there. And this is the source code in our GitHub account. But one thing that is important, if you want to don't get any error, you have to exactly create one folder by any name like this, and within this put this create these three folders. Models, in which paste all the models that I have shared with you, and notebooks is optional. Template, in which put resume.html and app.py. But before that create virtual environment, right? And also you need to install all the libraries that I have shown. If I show you again, this Flask, Py, PDF2, you have to just download and install. You also need to install scikit-learn, okay, because our models are trained in scikit-learn library. Okay, yeah, that was the video. I hope you have enjoyed and you have learned a lot of things from this project. So the last and final request, if you are new and have not subscribed this channel, subscribe it, and also like this video and share with your friends. Thank you so much. See you in next research based project.